So we have an update on Anthony Davis. It's just come in. We got it all figured out. We're going to play it for you right now. AD, who left tonight's game against the Warriors after getting an elbow to the head, inadvertent elbow from Kevon Looney. You see the replays. They're going up for a rebound. It just so happens AD's head is there when Looney, puts his hands out to go get the ball. He leaves the game, and he leaves the game on a wheelchair. He was woozy, brought back to the Lakers locker room. There weren't any updates. Then after the game, after the Lakers fall to the Warriors, we find out from Austin Reeves, AD is in the locker room. It seems like he's doing fine. We played the Darvin Ham soundbite for you a few minutes ago. Darvin Ham saying he seems okay. And then he shut down any follow-up questions. Come on, Mike. That's it, Mike. The game's just over, Mike. Come on, Mike. Stop asking questions, Mike. But here is Chris Haynes, NBA on TNT's Chris Haynes, with Ernie and Shaq and Kenny, updating them on the status of Anthony Davis. This is just from a few moments ago on TNT.
Obviously, elbow AD, I was told, in the temple area. And AD went to the bench, and he sat on the bench for a minute. He was being evaluated. Then they wanted him to go to the locker room. But the way that the arena is here at Chase Center, the visiting bench is across the court from where their locker room is. So he would have to walk across the court to get to his locker room. So they chose the very closest entrance, or exit, I should say, and they took him in a room. Now, when they took him in this room, they had to a lightweight hold him up. He was stumbling a little bit. You could tell his equilibrium was off. Then about 5 minutes later, they brought a wheelchair in the room. And from there, he was escorted to the room, over all the way across the hall to the locker room. Now, I was told that sources have informed me that the early diagnosis is that it appears that he has avoided a concussion and is doing much better now. So that is good news right now. Obviously, if he went into concussion protocol, the likelihood of him being available for Game 6, obviously.
So there you go. So that was Chris Haynes.
Yeah, we had the over-under before we got off air that he would not have a concussion.
Yeah, well, look, look. What we heard from Mark Medina is that if he gets diagnosed with a concussion, obviously he's going to be out at least a week.
Right.
If he is in some kind of protocol, that would put his status for Game 6 in question. But as you just heard Chris Haynes say, he avoided a concussion. I liked how they used the word avoided. Like, hey, like there was a concussion. Hey, get out of the way. Oh, man, I just dived out of the way of that concussion. Whew, man, I was like, concussion was coming right at me
fast.
It was coming right at me. I didn't know. But that is great news for AD.
Sure.
Great news for the Lakers and great news for basketball fans that it looks like Anthony Davis is okay. I'm looking at Lakers reporter Dave McMenamin's feed right now. Anthony Davis leaving the game after he showered, dressed, changed.
Yep.
Walking under his own power, normal gait, normal walking. No one's helping him up. He's got a couple of people around him, but he looks okay, leaving the game and headed home. So, or headed back to the airport to go home. Now, obviously, there's going to be a lot of what kind of test did he get? Did he really get tested? Did he get this? But when you go through protocol, you kind of go through protocol. It's not as above board as the NFL, because the NFL needs to be a little bit more because of their recent history. Hey, you got to be a little bit more transparent. But there's a lot of stuff happening. This is a very high profile situation with Anthony Davis. And if he does not get diagnosed with a concussion, he will play in Game 6.
Well, but as we've talked about with NFL processes time and again, it doesn't present necessarily immediately. Right? It could be hours later, it could be a day later. I mean, we watched that with Tua Tagovailoa, right? Probably the most recent, most famous example of it all this past year of how's he still in the game, how's he going, how's he get back on a field so fast, right? Sunday to Thursday, that kind of thing. That human body's a remarkable thing, but you also know you can take a quick downturn at times. So he could be fine. Could go get on a plane. Don't know how he's going to be affected. We hope they're the best because you want to see everybody at full strength. And his gait walking out of the arena leaves you with some hope that, yeah, come Game 6, he'll be back and ready to go. But in the moment, all we can go on is the reports. All right, feeling better, looking better, and it looks like he avoided it. That, again, curious terminology. He avoided it.
I'm going to say something about Anthony Davis right now. And this is in observing him and observing how he acts and reacts to injuries during games, this is not the first time we have seen him get dinged up, leave a game, and come back. Right? It's not. I mean, we see it every 2 weeks because then you see hope AD or damn AD or AD or something like that.
As soon as he hits
the
court, there's a lot of trepidation and hand wringing. Sure.
Seeing this happen a lot, and everybody is different, and I'm trying to go through why this is something for Anthony Davis. And this is actually probably good news for him where he sits right now. Look, he's walking. He's walking off the court. He's going to the team bus, go to the plane to fly back to LA. When I watch him now, thinking about everything that goes through, AD seems like the guy who, when something happens, it's okay, stop, full stop. I got to make sure I'm okay. Some guys are different, where if they go down and they get up and their ankle is a little, and let's say that someone goes down, their ankle is a little weird, they go, okay, no, and they try to play through it for a couple minutes.
Look at your guy Grimes a little bit earlier.
Right? Yeah.
I mean, watching him get run into on a screen,
right.
He went down like whatever, you built a castle of cards and then flipped the bottom one and watched crumble and then got up and made a huge steal. But to that point.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys who will just try to play through it right away going, oh, I just need to run on it more. I just need to run on it more and go and do that. AD is not that guy. When AD gets hurt, he is a full stop. Oh, whoa. Something's up here, and I got to make sure I'm okay. Not that I don't want to come back in and play, but he's one of those, I recognize the pain and a potential injury immediately, and I got to go get this checked out before I can continue to play. Because there's not a lot of him trying to limp on the floor or whatever, going through stuff. It's just, whoa, I need to go get this. Because he always goes to the locker room. There's never, I'm going to go on the sideline, sit, see if I can move my ankle a little bit, see what it's like. There's always locker room. I want this looked at. And that's kind of, and when you see it that many times, you think that's kind of who he is as a player. He's one of those guys that, okay, I'm hurt, I got to get checked out. You telling me I'm okay? I'll go back and play, which is kind of this part. Hey, I get elbow to the head, I got to go get this checked out. I mean, I'm not feeling great. Could I have tried to stay in the game and shook it off? Yeah, other players would have tried to do that. Doesn't make one part of it right and one part of it wrong, how you want to try to stay in a game or come out. But he seems like that's the type of athlete he is, where if something feels like it's a little bit wrong, no, I want to get it looked at before I come back, which is actually seems like it would be good news for the Lakers in that, hey, I went off the floor to get it checked out. I was feeling a little woozy, put me in a wheelchair. I don't want to bump into anything. And the fact that he's already walking out of the arena, walking to the Lakers transportation. We get good reports from the locker room. He was never taken out of the locker room. Doesn't look like he's got any sensitivity to light because there's a camera right in his face.
Yeah.
So all of this portends to be good news for Davis going into playing Game 6. Again, I'm not a doctor. I just go by how I see him react and how he's reacted over the course of his career to injury.
Yeah, err on the side of caution. Because when you're a 7-footer and you get hurt, especially when we're talking lower extremities, in this case, it's a blow to the head, but historically we've watched him crumble, and it's like, all right, is that his ankle? Is that his knee? And we know what becomes of big men that suddenly have foot, ankle, and knee injuries. Right, they start to crumble, kind of like that toy we used to have in the old
guard who was like, "I'm fine, I'm running, I'm fine." Big man, whoa! This is a joint of some kind or something else.
Right, the old toy like we had in the old studio that you'd press underneath and the legs collapse. That's kind of been Anthony Davis a bunch of times. Same thing here, but here with a head injury, you know it's a potential big deal. And if he's really that wobbly, right, that becomes where skeptics are going to ask a lot of the questions about protocols, etc. We just have the video of him walking out. So we'll take that as the positive and let science take its course. See, it's science.